So it looks like Doug Haas already won one game.
And Doug's playing against Kurt or Antonio? How are these sorted?
Doug is playing against Kurt.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you probably got the lock in.
Yeah, I imagine that was probably the case, especially... What's Kurt playing?
Yeah.
No, that's interesting, actually.
I mean, you just say Aura. And they don't usually have an established board state.
Well, that's the thing about Doug's version too, is like it's just he can go off on if he's going first, he could just play 2-3 aura facts and aura, and then next turn just lizard people walk.
Yeah.
So here's there Francisco.
21.
Tell him to give you a big tip.
Yeah. No. Now we can, yes. Can you hear us? Are our mics working?
Oh.
Are we
okay.
live? Oh, okay. Hello, everybody. We are jumping in with round 3. We had some technical difficulties. We had to restart OBS. I appreciate those of you who stuck with us, and for those of you just joining us now, we are going for Douglas Haas versus Kurt Creswell. Doug is up the first game. It is a Cosmic versus Fire matchup. Fire obviously being a bit more popular since Easton's victory with it at the Kansas City Collecticon.
Well, it looks like Doug is doing a turn 2 lizard people, kind of a slower start, but maybe actually Kurt may have played the Unholy Fire and destroyed an Aurifact. I do not know what card that is that Kurt just played, but
it was the Fireball. He played Green Fireball.
Oh, he played. Okay.
Yes.
Right,
So
awesome.
Kurt dropped the Green Fireball. Apologies for the glare. There's not a whole lot we can do about that with the lighting in here. But yeah, so it's a decent looking hand actually for Doug from what I can see. He has some options of what he can do. He might opt to just play it a bit slower at this point, just because he didn't step on the gas, and he can wait till he has the pieces to kind of shut down his opponent. If this is after the first game, though, I'm trying to think of what he could have sided in to his deck to improve this matchup. Obviously, he won the first one, but I would think of that second first anniversary celebration is coming in for sure.
Yeah, I would say the second anniversary and the possibly 4th of July. Toxic Water, definitely. And then Caster Center MD, does that remove burn from the player?
If it would remove it from a beastie, but you wouldn't want to remove it if it was on the player anyway, because that would proc the effect of the green fireballs.
So he's going to avoid that, but definitely Toxic Water, 4th of July possibly, probably an Aura Absorb, first anniversary for sure, Supernatural Black Hole probably.
You think?
Yeah. It's a good answer in the later game to basically, like, you're playing more of a grindy game in this matchup, being the Cosmic player. So you have to kind of plan for that. So I would actually board in the Supernatural Black Hole for game 2 and 3. Because they're just playing a bunch of evasive beasties and such. So,
right. That said, I mean, unless it feels like a difficult matchup for Kurt, because you look at it and there's some options for things that won't get hit, but 2 Unholy Fires, 2 Explosions, he has 1 more of each that he can side in. The removal just doesn't feel like it's there enough. But obviously, this deck is very similar to the one that Easton won with.
Well, this is
clearly it's a deck that works.
This is interesting because Kurt just left up 2 aura and passed. So I'm kind of curious as to what's in his hand. His hand's angled up a little bit to where we can't see it, but
I mean, one would assume dampen. Oh, wait, does he play dampen?
Even if he had dampen, he'd side him out. I don't see a reason to keep dampen in against a combo deck.
That's true. That's true.
Based around beasties. So
I don't see a trap, so it's not for Wood Devil.
no. Maybe he just has a bunch of blanks, but
Yeah,
this
it
is
could just
allowing Doug to really. It looks like he's gonna play a 4-drop. Is that a El Verde? Okay, all right. So he's getting back his lizard people and a.
Interesting, he didn't pick up the. I would have personally swung with the jellyfish and then picked that up, but
Okay.
maybe that's just me.
So Devoid Potion, basically made it to where after he bounces the beasties, he's not going to be able to play them for free because they're no longer cosmic beasties.
That's an interesting counter to this deck that I hadn't considered.
Yeah, yeah,
I really like it as a
becoming
play,
a little
honestly.
popular. Yeah,
Because I know a lot of people were citing that in for the matchup against Gassy, because obviously that, you know, the OTK.
okay.
Oh, we're checking chat? Okay. We're not going to be able to see previously. Okay, all right. The man in the shadows has directed us to conversate with those of you here. Which is all right. I'm sure, you know, if there's any questions about the game, we can take a look at those. No problem. Now we're seeing a flip through of Dirty's deck. Obviously, he has the balancing beams because he's one of our older players in the game. Not super old, but enough to where balancing beam is a viable deck choice.
So this is looking really interesting because Doug has a grip full of just good stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of curious how Kurt is going to be able to catch up.
Is he going to be able to catch up?
Yeah, don't know.
Doug's just bringing the speed out, and there's the Flatwoods monster.
So Kurt, does he run? Let's see. So he does run the Gassies, Red Devil. I do not see any Headless Coal Miners.
Yes, no, he does. He has two of them.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
So Headless Coal Miner can be an answer to this situation that he's kind of in.
But how is he getting them out? If Flatwoods already hit the board, I'm assuming he declared Aura.
Flatwoods. Okay, yeah. No, he didn't declare Aura. It was definitely Beasties.
You
I'm
think
sure.
so?
Yeah.
Why would it be Beasties?
Why would he need Aura right now?
Because your opponent. Because then you can't fatigue the Aura.
That's incorrect. You can fatigue the Aura, you just can't contract it.
No, it's because you can't take any actions.
Right. Fatiguing an Aura is not an action. You learn something new every day.
Yeah, you do. If someone was.
Hey, don't
I'm
worry.
annoyed because I would have won a match.
Don't worry. Don't worry, Speed. I'm a master MZO. It's okay.
Well, let me say this then. Do they know that?
That's on them. You know.
Mm-hmm.
If Kurt doesn't know that, then. But I gotta assume that Kurt does because he's a master MZO as well.
I didn't see anything get played though, and clearly he didn't see.
He's not playing anything, so Doug may be naming Beastie. Or wait, no, he's not naming Beastie because Kurt just attacked. So
I think he's got to be naming. It might be Spell.
That could be
relevant for the fire matchup, certainly. Yeah, because then the beasties that Kurt has, they're good. You know, obviously Fire has some good beasties, but they rely a lot, I think, on the spell lineups in the deck.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And without the ability to use those, that's absolutely brutal. That said, I haven't seen Fatigue and Aura since Flyman's hit the board, so
That is true.
unsure. Well, if he didn't know before, and he did say Aura, he knows now, because some Aura was just fatigued.
Well, no, Doug fatigued the Aura to play the Lizard People to search for El Verde, and then now he's going to play El Verde because Flatwood's effect ends at the start of Doug's turn.
That's correct. For some reason, I thought he had already got it back out. I don't know why. I'm dumb, ignore me.
Yeah, this is getting interesting now. Doug, is that a... Okay, so he has an active Chaos Crystal as well, and also a Black Hole Shard.
So you pick up the other El Verde.
He's got the combo now.
Yeah, it's done.
It's not done yet. Oh, and there's the beautiful pictures of Kurt with that glorious beard. I love that beard.
It's majestic.
And then you have Doug Haas looking like a card hustler like no other.
He really does.
He does. It's like every damn hustling.
He never wears his hat like that. I'm so amused that he tilted it in the photo like that. That's very, very fun.
Oh, and Kurt just drew a Cryptid Nation promo.
But what does that do for him right now?
Well, I don't know what else is in his hand. Like maybe he has a growth. But if he had that, he probably would have just slammed it.
Yeah.
Kurt is in the think tank right now, and I don't know why he hasn't played anything. Like his hand has to be full of bricks.
I would have to assume that they're under the assumption that the Flatwoods means so that you can't fatigue. Devoid can really set up a fat New Year, New Beginning. That it can, yeah.
All right, so Lizard People swings. Doug missed the Lizard People trigger of being able to look at the top card of his deck. Sometimes that can be important.
I was going to say, it's not really important when it's about to be your turn, though. That feels more important to have on your own turn.
He just attacked. He attacked, passed, and then... Okay. I'm really curious as to what's in Kurt's hand, because Kurt is just completely locked out of the game right now. Doug is running away with it.
Our monitor's slipping again. And so he's getting his attacks in first, because when he drops the Flatwoods, if he declares beasties, obviously he can't then do anything with his own either.
Here comes Lizard People, I assume. Yep. And I think he's probably going to go for the Reptoid Ruler here soon. Probably on his next
another
turn.
Lizard People. I mean, he has plenty of Aura. He still has a Black Hole Shard. He has the Chaos Crystal. He has 6 Aura in play to mess around with. So he's got, and the El Verde is going to make whatever he plays later cheaper.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, next turn he'll just go for the win with searching for Lizard People. He's just getting more dudes on board. But
I was gonna say he has like the ultimate loop, because he can loop the El Verde, he can loop back the El Verde, the Flatwoods, the Jellyfish, and the Lizard People every single turn, and that's just so much value. I don't know how you come back from that.
So he has 2 Aura floating, I think, because of the Jellyfish being the second beastie. So he has 2 Aura floating, and he's swinging right now. I think he's probably just gonna play the El Verde soon. Okay.
Pick up those 2. I was thinking about what he wants to pick up. Obviously, you grab the Flatwoods, you grab the El Verde.
Yeah,
okay, and he grabs his damaged Lizard People too.
Yeah, for sure. I probably actually would have played a... If he has 2 floating, which I believe he does, I probably would have played the Lizard People to search for Lizard People, and then play the El Verde, or actually Reptoid Rulers, hit for Reptoid Ruler, then play the El Verde.
Well, if he's going for Reptoid next turn, it seems, not as much of an issue.
Right, I don't think he's going to go for it next turn now. He may, but honestly, I probably would have went for just like a critical mass of beasties on the board.
I think he's going for more control than just
Oh,
aggro,
he definitely doesn't want to.
Doesn't want to overcommit.
Yeah, no, he almost played a Lizard People instead of the Flatwoods. So this is the only problem here. Like, wait, what's? So he's not naming Beastie. So he's got to be naming Spell. Oh, so it looks like there's a judge call by Kurt. He's like, they're figuring it out. Okay, they just figured it out.
I believe he did
There goes the
call beasties.
Okay. Yeah, he definitely called beasties because he didn't play the Lizard People afterwards. So now Kurt is
Cryptonation.
unloading. Yeah, he's unloading all of his spells.
But is it too little too late?
It probably is, honestly. Like,
I mean, 590 on the board, you can still come back from that. And
he's got a lot of work to do, though.
yes, he does. Oh, but there
Flatwoods.
goes Flatwoods.
Yep.
So who knows? We could start to see the comeback here. This is pretty similar to what we saw when we were watching the Critters versus Cosmic game of just it's just a back and forth, a game of patience.
I think what happened was Doug accidentally called Beastie. And
And now his misplay is getting punished.
yeah, he went to say Spell after he said Beastie, and I think that's what the judge call was about. Now Doug's in like,
Whoa! We had a bit of a power surge there for a minute. Or someone fiddling with the lights, I'm really not sure. They might be trying to fix the glare issue for us.
yeah, that's a
certainly
lot
looks
better.
a lot better.
Yeah.
Still kind of looks like the cards are being censored. that green fireball is very blurry.
Yeah.
Like specifically that green fireball.
So yeah, Reptoid Ruler is going to come down here and it's going to.
Now that the lock's been broken, there's a necessity for a bit more aggressive play from Doug. So we'll see if he just goes in on that or what the situation is, because Kurt again still has a hand and now he doesn't have to worry about not being able to play any beasties. That said, with only 6 aura on the board, he's not in the best spot.
Oh, there's another. Okay. All right. So Kurt is not calling the judge on that one, I don't think.
On what happened?
So Doug actually played El Verde, and then kind of took it back and played the Reptoid Ruler.
I see.
So that's what the discussion was about for a second. But
Doug's a good player, and I don't usually see him shaken, but right now he seems to be a bit off his game after that misplay the last round, after it cost him that his Flatwoods monster.
yeah, I mean that'll put you on tilt. Like when you make a goof up that you know you shouldn't have made, but it just happens.
Yeah.
And that can definitely fluster you.
Yeah. And Kurt is well within his right to call him on it as well. You know, this is a tournament. There's money. There's a lot of money. There's a lot of prizing on the line here.
Yeah, but it just goes to show like what kind of character Kurt has, because he didn't really argue about it or anything like that. So, you know, kudos to both of these guys for being really great sportsmen.
I meant more with the Flatwoods thing, but yes, that was.
Oh yeah.
The good sportsmanship coming from both sides.
Yeah,
But obviously, when it's something like, you know, you say you declare it, little less room for negotiation, I suppose you could say. That said, I think this one's over unless something crazy happens from Kurt, and Fire doesn't have a board wipe just yet, so...
All right, Pants is coming out of the deck.
And he has the...
And... All right, that is a scoop from Kurt, so Doug Haas took this down 2-0. Oh, and they had a giveaway. What kind of packs are those?
Those are the Metapoo April Fool's packs.
So they just won a giveaway of Metapoo packs. This is awesome. Like, this is why this tournament is so fantastic, because they're doing all these giveaways for these players in here. It's like Smitty is blowing this out of the water. I can't say enough about how awesome this is.
Oh yeah, no, this has been a great tournament, great venue as well, very centrally located, and yeah, the fact that we're doing giveaways for players is nice. No offense to the viewers, but I feel it's like, a lot of times the players kind of get left in the dirt, or in the dust, maybe not dirt. Dirt seems a little harsh. We get left behind. There we go.
Yeah, no,
as it were.
No, that was really interesting. I'm not sure who won the Antonio versus Chris match.
Which was also a Fire.
Let me.
But that was Fire versus Lightning.
Okay, Chris actually won the matchup between. So Chris Johnson, he is the Dueling Brothers, Chris Johnson.
Okay.
Actually won his match against Antonio Rodriguez, who is actually the Demon Fergus.
Yes.
So Chris took that down, and Chris is playing.
He's got Fire with a bit of Spirit.
Yeah, so he's playing Flame Spirit.
Primarily Flame.
And Antonio.
The Spirit is just... the Spirit, I believe, is just Morpheus.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But Antonio was playing a Lightning build, so that's actually pretty interesting. And Antonio was playing 3 anti-potion main deck.
That's a bold play.
It is, and that is 3 dead cards against Chris.
Very much so.
1.
I think you could justify maybe 2 main deck, but 3 seems like a lot. Especially when we've seen less potions being played as of late.
Yeah, I mean, like, very few people are playing Lightning in a bottle main deck, but I think it was probably more of a tech against a projected water matchups. Like, I think the metagame, like I was saying a while ago, I think the metagame is going to take a few more weeks to really catch up to a point to where water is going to be like the perfect choice, because Lightning's still, kind of everywhere. Cosmic, it's still finding a foothold. So it's one of those things like, you don't want to be too far ahead of the metagame to where you just completely miss.
Right. Well, and I think with, again, the fact that it's not a solved meta and we have so many seemingly viable options, it really just kind of comes down to like deck choice. You kind of have to look at what the most recent major tournaments were that people are going to know the results from and go, okay, what did good there? And then you kind of go, all right, do I play something that is good against like the winning deck or something that, or do I think people are going to play the counter to that deck and then I play the counter to the counter? And there's a lot that goes into choosing a deck if you're someone who isn't, me, who just plays the same thing constantly.
Right.
Although I did mix it up for Caster Cut, but
Well, Fearsome Critters is like still one of the best, if not like arguably the best deck in the game.
I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel about that.
It always has to be tech against it. If you do not side deck for it, you're gonna run into it and lose.
I don't think it's the best deck, but I think it is a deck that always requires respect from the opponents.
Do you think it's more of a sheriff of
like a gatekeeper of the top tier? Yeah. I think a gatekeeper of like the top tier is probably the best way to do it, to look at it. Obviously, it's not a deck that I would recommend playing in a fire-heavy meta, but
Right now is probably not the time to play it, but
Well-
with it still being on the radar though, like
that said, a lot of the fire decks that we've been seeing that have performed well, Easton's and obviously Chris's as well, they aren't playing a ton of the spells, you know.
right.
So you could theoretically get around it that way, but if you go up against a against a fire deck that is very heavy on burn spells, that's when you're going to see Forest really struggle. But if you're going up against, I think it has a lot of good outs against Quetz, against Cosmic. It seems like kind of a toss-up at times, maybe slightly favoring Critters, but I don't know. It seems like a good deck, but not best in format.
I mean, just I don't know. It's one of those decks where you just always have to be aware of it, though.
Yes, that's
So
true.
there is that.
That is very true.
But yeah, no. It looks like we have about 19 and a half minutes. It looks like we have about. Oh. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Let's. You know what? I am going to. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here for a moment, and we're going to have Chris Johnson go ahead and get on here and talk to you about, kind of the matchup and everything else. So he is currently 3-0. So Chris, go ahead and there you go.
People want to know.
3-0 Fire
People
Spirit,
wanna know.
yeah. Very different looking list from what we saw Easton win with at Kansas City. You're playing the green Fireballs.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was not, and you're leaning into that. And this isn't the first green Fireball deck that we've had on stream today.
Right.
The other one did not do nearly as well. So seeing you 3-0 with it, I have to ask, well, first, I think, what were you expecting to play coming into this event? What made you choose Fire?
Cosmic. Not a lot of water is being played right now, and I mean I would know because if I felt water was good, I'd be playing it personally right now. So Cosmic is so good right now that you have to have enough damaging spells and enough versatility to deal with the Cosmic lock. So if you don't have that, then you could probably do well all day, but then when you get into top right now, you're going to have to deal with that Cosmic Lock, because I can guarantee you one Cosmic Lock deck is going to make it to top 8, and if you go against it, it's going to be nasty if you don't have absolute versatility, because at any point, they can just choose what you're ramping up with, and then you can't do that anymore. Or if they get lucky, they just lock you turn 1. So, funny story, I actually ran this deck a month ago, I think it was, at the LGS Metal Tournament, and I went undefeated all day that day too. And then Doug Haas, who is here, and he's also doing very well. He beat me with the Cosmic Lock, and mainly because I firmly believe because I did not have Absorb Aura in my main deck, and so I have it in my main deck now. I have 3, so I can pretty much ensure that I can have it on turn 1 against a Cosmic deck, and it is absolutely devastating, and it's actually working out for a lot of people. And then on top of that, in my deck, I have 4 Aurifacts to go with the Absorb Aura, because another thing, speaking on versatility, they're going to call Aura, you can't use Aura, but if you have Aurifacts, then you can use your Aurifacts. Or you can't play Aura, you can use your Aura. But so it just adds a whole bunch of other layers, because they're going to have 6 Aura, 7 Aura super fast because they're using all their Aurifacts. So I'm using Aurifacts too, so now you have to match me. And then if my list is specific, I only have 2 beasties that are not spirit traded, and that is Father Sam and Adam Ackler. And that is the main thing of this deck, is everything is spirit traded in the main deck. You have to figure it out. Game 1 is really, really tough, and then game 2 I have Void Spell, and then I have Morpheuses and Explosions.
You also have the second anniversary to deal with one of the FACs
Right.
that
Yeah.
could come out.
Yeah.
It seems weird to me that second anniversary is the best counter to first anniversary.
Yeah. And then so speaking on Easton's deck, that's an absolutely great deck. I felt like it was only optimized against lightning and water, which makes sense because water would be its biggest fear, and I would be afraid of that. But I'm taking chances because water is not absolutely played that much right now. So I feel like I can just main the spirit instead and have the dark package in the side deck. So I have 2 dark and 3 hateful demise in the side for if I do go against water. Because guess what? I don't need explosions against water either. I'd rather use my Morpheuses and then hateful demises against water to just out control them with my flame, and then I have enough fireballs to where. And they do enough damage. You only need to play 3 or 4, and you can just hold them, and then they have to flood. Otherwise, what else are you going to do? You have to flood the field.
Yeah.
I haven't actually.
Well,
gone
if you really wanted to be cheeky, you could gravity shift that.
Yeah. I haven't actually gone against a water deck, so that's still in testing. But shout out to Philip, one of the Join Brothers team members. He is one of the best water players I know, and so I feel I have a good sideboard for water.
Okay. Well, I wanted to ask about that because I think a lot of people were probably expecting a good amount of water because some people like to overreact to tournament results. So fire wins, suddenly everyone plays water. But I'm seeing a lot of lightning today, and I imagine that's probably doing a good job of keeping any water players here in check.
I love our community, and but the one thing I can say is I think people need to adapt more. Lightning is really good, but just like I'm not playing water right now, everything has its moment and it shined. And with lightning being so prominent, I was like, I'm personally, I don't feel comfortable playing it anymore. I mean, I love water, but I'm not as bold as Philip, my teammate who still plays water. So I was like, why don't I try switching it up?
He knocked me out for a while because I wasn't expecting water, and so I didn't have gravity shift or anything.
Yeah, I personally believe a lot of you lightning players who are having issues, try another deck. There's tons of decks out there that you could try that have like similar flow that I think you could have more success with right now. I mean, that's why I post my decks that I do, and then Cash Society posts all their decks. Like, there's tons of information out there. Don't be afraid to try new stuff. That's what Locals is for anyway, so you can try new stuff.
Yeah, no, and thank you for coming on and talking to us about your deck. It was really cool. I look forward to seeing you more, hopefully on stream, because we didn't get to watch too much of your match.
It happened so fast.
It was a quickie.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can see another one, because I've been excited for Fire for a while now, and so to see it performing well in multiple different is very cool to see.
I think I have the best version because the aggression from mine added with the control. I think a lot of people didn't they had the aggression, but then they didn't add the control. Mm-hmm. So I think time to go take a break, mental break. We'll get ready for the next round.
Yeah, you got another 12, 13 minutes, so go ahead and take a breather.
All right.
And,
thanks, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you in the future. All right, that was the one and only Chris Johnson, everybody, part of the Dueling Bros. I believe we're going to go ahead and throw it to a quick break now. We'll be back when the next round is getting ready to start.